to 8-Bit Bastards, episode bonus round 2 thingy.
Bonus round 2.
Yeah, I messed that up bad. So Justin and I are here in his house. Hopefully it doesn't echo too bad. If not, we'll re-record it. And we're going to talk about some movies and shows. I didn't read any comics.
I haven't really read any comics either.
I still have that huge stack that my brother-in-law had borrowed.
Did you start them?
I haven't. It's daunting. It is, because I got a stack of 40 comics, and like you said, I don't know where to start. Do I start with Flash? Do I start with Green Lantern? Where do I start with?
I don't know. I would start with Green Lantern, probably. Well, maybe I'd actually probably start with Flash, because off that Flashpoint paradox makes me appreciate the Flash better.
Yeah.
I don't know where you should go with it.
I don't know either. So anyway, back to movies and TV shows. So let's start with Sleepy Hollow.
First episode I thought was awesome. It does, like you said before, it kind of gives away too much, and I think it reminds me of like a crappier version of Supernatural, essentially. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I like it though. I wish Ichabod did more.
He doesn't do anything. He brings nothing to the table.
He doesn't fight. He just kind of like, he's the intellect, and I just think that's kind of stupid. But that's probably my only thing.
I get the buddy cop part of it, like The Mentalist. The chick is the badass cop, and Simon Baker plays, Patrick Jane, who's the genius intellect guy, and does that. Castle, same thing. Chick is the badass cop, and he's the smart, funny, comic relief type character and stuff. But Ichabod just doesn't seem to bring much like those other characters to me.
I just wish he changed his fucking clothes. It's been like 4 days.
I said that too to Becky. I go, how far along are we in time? Has it been a week? Even if it's been a week, why isn't somebody bought him a suit or a pair of jogging pants or something?
He got a fucking haircut or something. I mean, it's time travel, but he is. I feel like he's a really like watered down version of Indiana Jones. Like Indiana Jones is like smart side. That's how I kind of feel. Like he's from Oxford, he's Mr. Smarty Pants. But I don't know. I just wish they give a little bit more to him. But I'm sure the feedback, that's what they're getting probably, is like, hey, he needs to do more.
Yeah, he needs to do more. I feel like watered down Supernatural, or even further watered down Grimm.
I even tried to watch Grimm, and I couldn't get into Grimm that much, and I really wanted to get into Grimm. But
I think Grimm is fantastic. I like every new episode. They have a new baddie monster, like in Supernatural, and it has the overall story arc, and it didn't give a lot away. Like, it drug it out, but it gave you enough to keep you enticed to watch it. I really like Grimm, and as I told you earlier, I'll give him a couple more episodes, but it'll probably end up being one that my wife watches on her own.
I like the story because I really do enjoy the premise of the apocalypse and the Four Horsemen. I think that's really cool, but I feel like it's been played now. You have games, Darksiders, about the Horsemen. The last 2-3 seasons of Supernatural it was season like 3 and 4, 5 were all about the Horsemen. Like it was this shit like that. I think it might be an overplayed concept now. I enjoy it though. I thought it was pretty cool.
No, I like the concept. I think that's good. And I like a lot of aspects of the show. I just feel, we're nitpicking some of the things, but it's just ridiculous that he hasn't changed his clothes. And they finally, I think the writers, maybe people complained about it or something. It was like, how does this dude even understand our modern speech? I mean, probably 50% of the words that we use, he wouldn't even know what they are. And then he says, in the one scene, he's like, oh, I have an eidetic memory, I know everything. It just seemed like a really easy cop-out way.
Yes and no. Eidetic mean that like 90% of what he sees, he remembers. So it could kind of go that way. I see it. It's a great way to tie a loose end, but I wish he was a little bit more. Instead, he's just kind of that like, I know stuff, but I'm not going to physically do anything. Like I want him to physically be a badass.
And why isn't he? He was a warrior in a brutal warfare. He should be awesome. And he took on the Horseman one-on-one and decapitated him and kicked his ass. Yeah. And now he's a pud? Just because, I don't know.
Well, I think it's funny, too, is like when he shoots a gun, he shoots it once because he doesn't realize, clips and more bullets. But, I mean, I think
that was funny.
It wasn't happened like once or twice, I think.
Yeah, she gave him the gun, he threw it, and she's like, why did you throw your gun? He goes, I shot it. He goes, it has more bullets. And he's like, it has more bullets?
Yeah. I don't know. I think progressively as it goes, he will get a little bit more. You'll see him do more. But I feel like he almost knows a little too much. as him traveling through time, in a sense, like, he knows too much about the witches and too much about, you know, like, he had Indian friends that he knew about the one Sandman. I was just kind of like, really? You knew about that? Come on now. That was kind of...
That was a little cheese. It seems like they create these plot holes and they have to tie them up, and he's their scapegoat for everything. Maybe, like you said, maybe I don't like the guy that's playing him.
I don't mind him. I just wish that they would modernize him. I wish he'd have, like... And that one might be the comic relief, as he doesn't know that much, but he's, like I said, he's changing his fucking clothes, he's getting a haircut, he's trying to get used to this modern time and not just kind of like, oh, I'm still this fucking guy from 200 years ago. Like, come on now.
It's got to change quick for me to keep enjoying it.
I don't know where they're going with the next episode, because I didn't get to see, like, on the next, you know... I don't know what they were saying, what they were going with.
The next one is... I can't remember now.
Well, a lot of the characters that I liked, they killed off. Like the guy that played the sheriff, I thought he's an awesome actor. He was great. He's great in any movie he does. Pet Sematary he was in, or Pet Sematary 2. Highlander, he was the Kurgan in Highlander. He's awesome. And he dies in the first episode. I was like, fuck.
Not in the first episode, he dies in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, and how about the scene with the apple pie? How many times are we going to watch that scene? He's sitting there with Abby.
Oh, God.
Sorry, listeners. He's sitting there with Abby, and he said, you got to make a decision in the next 5 minutes. They play it at the beginning of the episode. They play it in the previews. They play it in the last time on Sleepy Hollow, and then she at least has one flashback to that damn scene every episode.
Well, that's I guess that's where they brought themselves together, or it was at the diner with the apple pie.
I understand. If I have to watch that one more time.
I think she's kind of bland. As much as I, not necessarily I don't like Ichabod, I wish he would change. I wish she would kind of change a little bit too. She's, I don't know how I feel about that character. The female, I can't remember her name.
Abby?
Abby, yeah.
I remember now with the previews next week, because her sister got out of the asylum, they're trying to get her sister to recruit and help.
Well, that's
stuff.
Another weird thing, like, Orlando Jones, like, doesn't believe anything, then, like, he believes everything, and then doesn't believe everything. Like, I don't know. It seems like they're trying to hold too much from everyone, but at a certain point, you can't. You know what I mean? Like, and where the fuck's the Horseman?
He hasn't been he was in episode 1, in the first 2 seconds of episode 2 in his dream, and now he's not even in episode 3. Didn't even make an appearance. And it's going to be like Supernatural, where the big baddie comes at big story arc turning points in the season. Otherwise, you're going to have all these little baddies along the way. It's the same tried and true formula that's been played out so many times in other Supernatural-esque shows, sci-fi shows.
Yeah. I like it. It's not like the greatest show I've ever seen. I hope it does grow a little bit more, but
I can take it or leave it.
Yeah. I don't really get into shows as much anymore, but my wife and I, that's kind of what our Monday is we watch whatever's on TV now, since we actually have a nice home and whatnot to do it.
That's cool. So let me go here and cross off Sleepy Hollow. Maybe we'll talk more about that later and it develops. Did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I can't. I really can't. I fucking hate that guy. I just really don't like him. I didn't like him in any of the movies. I can't watch a show with him in it.
The actual actor or the character he portrays? The character he
plays. I don't even like the actor because of it now.
Oh, wow. Coulson?
Yeah, fuck him. I was excited when he died, and now they've taken that excitement away.
It's kind of funny that they make a joke on it that the one guy they're recruiting is like, I'm level 7, Agent Coulson died. Or he's like, I'm level 6 or whatever. He goes, now you're at level 7. And he like walks out of the dark and he's like, ooh, it was really dark back there. And they try to make the joke about it. And I guess the only thing I have a problem with it, one is, like a lot of people, they probably went into expecting seeing like superheroes and stuff. And all you're seeing is Agent Bob. You know, the guy that's on the computer. You're seeing all the behind-the-scenes people, and you watch a Marvel movie to see Thor kick ass, or you see Captain America or Iron Man. It's like, you don't watch it to see the computer guy. You don't watch it to see...
That's how I feel, but don't they show... Isn't superheroes in it?
Not any proper ones.
Who's in it so far? What, Luke Cage and like the White Tiger chick or whatever her name is? Is it like the adult version of Ultimate Spider-Man that's on Disney right now?
Maybe.
Because if that's so, then that's fucking ridiculous. I'll watch that with my kids before I'll watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it just seems stupid.
He's not a superhero.
Who's he?
It's nobody. It's a dude that gets alien tech, and it gives him super stuff.
So he's kind of like Blue Scarab in the DC universe?
Yeah. He gets alien tech, and he gets this thing attached to his arm that gives him super strength and endurance and stamina and stuff.
Basically, he's a modified Jake 2.0.
Yeah.
You're telling me. He gets nanobots.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Is he based on an actual character?
No. That's the thing is, like, the universe is Marvel, but I don't think they're ever going to show anything but the I don't even know if you want to call it the B-list, because I don't even think they're going to show B-list heroes. Like, I would consider, like, Hawkeye as a B-list hero. I'm sorry, he's not a true Avenger. He's a dude with a bow.
You think they'll show, like, Nova or, like,
I don't think
Fist?
I don't think they'll show those guys. I don't think it's going to be anything about superheroes. It's going to be about the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the run-of-the-mill humans that are run around doing all the cleanup and stuff.
But are you going to see, Black Widow? She was just a normal,
They show Maria Hill and what's her face, Colby Saunders or whatever her name is from How I Met Your Mother. Mm-hmm. That she's actually in the first episode, and they have this stupid scene too where Coulson says, he talks about that when they bring him back to life or whatever, and he died for like 7 seconds. That and he went on sick leave and he went to like the Bahamas or whatever for like months and months and months. And he said it was good to be back in the game. And Maria Hill goes, we can't ever tell him what happened or whatever. So like, there's speculation that he's a robot or he's a clone. I've read some stuff on the message board that he's not actually Coulson anyway. So that he's somebody else or something else.
Well, it just. And I think we've talked about it before. It's just, I don't understand the Marvel Universe now. Like, I get the Avengers. I don't think they should have made an Avengers movie yet. Like, with Thor and Iron Man 3 and the new Captain America, like, all these global threats that are going on, why doesn't the Avengers just come back together to battle it? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, in Thor 2, there's these fucking aliens, essentially warping through dimensions to come destroy the planet. Thor has to come and save it. Why don't they bring the Avengers again?
I think most of the fighting is done off-world, though.
Oh,
so that's why I don't think it's there. But who's to say if Thor's coming here on the Rainbow Road, or whatever it's called, and he takes back his girlfriend, why can't he be like, hey, Bruce, give me some Hulkage, and take Hulk with him?
Yeah, well, tear shit up. Like, if S.H.I.E.L.D.'s supposed to know all this stuff at all times, you know what I mean? Like Iron Man 3, there was a guy that was making superhumans. Why wasn't Captain America getting in on that shit? You know what I mean? Why weren't other heroes helping and assisting Iron Man?
That's the thing they do. It's alien tech and part of the super soldier serum that the guy gets in the pilot episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's something like that. I remember they're like, they actually take it further. It's actually it's alien tech from like Thor with the super soldier serum that's zapped by gamma radiation or something. That's not how they do what it is. It's kind of cheesy.
Oh my god! And they're based in New York, correct?
No,
they're not in New York. It's moving.
They have a plane.
Oh, okay.
They have a plane and a van, and he has a Corvette that flies.
You have now solidified the point of me not watching it with a flying Corvette.
Yeah.
I won't watch it.
It's like a 53 flying Corvette, too. It's one of the old ones.
Nah, I'm good.
No. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
What episode are they on now? 3?
No. Tonight's episode 2. It just started like 3 minutes ago. Episode 2. And it's called Code 084. And they leave it on a cliffhanger because they're like, we've never had a code 084.
So, Jesus Christ, are they really just trying to reach out there?
I don't know, man. I guess they're doing it on name recognition because people are going to watch it because it says Marvel, and then people are going to watch it because they think they're going to see Iron Man, Thor, and stuff like that, and they'll get the numbers up and get the ratings good, and maybe they'll draw people in for a while. But I don't see it going long term. I don't know how they're going to drag it out. But again, you never know how they're going to drag out Seinfeld for 9-10 years, and they did that, so.
Seinfeld was hysterical, though.
I know, but it had no point to it.
But that was the whole point of the show. It was a show that had no point.
Yeah, I know. I'm texting.
Who are you texting?
Jacob.
Alright.
But the bonus episode should definitely go up on iTunes
So I guess we'll put the Shield babies to bed because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, let's put the Shield to bed and move on.
What else was there? I watched.
Yeah, what did you watch?
I watched Dads. I don't know if you've seen the previews for that.
I thought you hated him.
Who?
The Seth
Green?
Yeah.
No, I don't like Seth Green. I've liked him since Can't Buy Me Love.
Who doesn't like Seth Green? Somebody doesn't like him.
I don't know.
Is it Brad that doesn't like him?
Maybe. Oh, no. He went on a Robot Chicken rant. Remember how stupid Robot Chicken was? The only thing he ever did good was he was an actor in Austin Powers or something like that? No, I think Seth Green's good. The show's pretty funny. It's obviously about the two guys' dads. It's Giovanni Rosby? Some weird name. His dad's really weird, and the other guy's dad's really weird. They pretty much have in the first episode, they come back pretty much how worse one dad is to the other. And Seth Green's dad is he's a kisser, he'll walk up and kiss you on the lips. Yeah, which is pretty bad.
But who plays his dad?
His dad. Did you ever see Animal House?
Yeah, of course.
You know the guy that is trying to get with the girl the entire movie, and the girl ends up banging Donald Sutherland? It's that guy. That's his dad. I cannot remember his name, though.
No, I have to look it up. I don't remember.
Yeah, I have to.
But Lucie's the only one I really remember for that, and Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was in Animal House? He was in Animal House, wasn't he?
Thank You, Sir, May I Have Another.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I finally saw Animal House 3 months ago for the first time.
Wow, you were a sad, sad man.
I'm a little upset. I didn't think it was as good as the movie as everyone portrayed it to be, but whatever.
One show that you probably won't appreciate, and maybe many of our listeners will not if they're younger, because it's definitely for somebody of my age and generation, probably 30 to 40 years old, maybe a little bit older, but definitely that's the demographic that they're looking to get, is the Goldbergs. The guy is telling the story of his crazy family in the 80s. And so it's set in the 80s, so it's pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
You get to see all the 80s references and everything. And it's based, the guy that's writing the story, it's based on his life. They are partly true stories, obviously embellished for TV. Because at the very end of the very first episode, they show pictures of his family and they show video clips. Because the premise is that he gets a video camera, so he goes around taping his crazy family and all their nuts affairs and everything. And at the very end of the first episode, they show real life footage from the guy doing that when he was a kid in the 80s. And some of the stuff is almost spot on to what happened in the TV show, to what happened in this kid's real life. It's hilarious. And the show's really entertaining, but it's obviously a nostalgia feeling for me, because I recognize all the stuff that they're talking about, all the things they're doing, and all of the physical things in their world take me back to that time period. When the girl's on the phone, she has the kitchen phone and she's strung all the way to her room, and it has a cord. Nowadays, that wouldn't even matter.
Oh, yeah.
But it's pretty funny. It's good. I enjoy the Goldbergs. It's a 30-minute comedy, so you could watch it one time, and if you hate it, then never watch it again. But it's definitely, if you're 16, you're not going to get it. You're going to hate it.
Well, you have to think, though, a lot of that culture, a lot of things are referenced now to the 80s. I know a lot about the 80s, not to say I'm super old either, but I grew up in the early 90s, but I still retain, think about all the movies and stuff in the early 90s. When you watch the old movie, it was a movie from the 80s, so you keep that reference pretty well.
That's true.
But the guy's name is Peter Reichert. I don't know if I can do the name, but it's that guy. That's Seth Green's dad.
That's cool.
I can't remember his name, but that in Dads, it's actually really funny. It's hard to explain them because it's a comedy.
Yeah, comedy's really hard to explain.
Basically, what ends up happening is they both have really bad dads, in the sense of both the guys, they own a video game company together. They both run it. One guy's the financial part of it, and the other guy's the creative part of it, which is Seth Green. Seth Green's the creative part. The financial guy is Giovanni. I can't fucking remember I can't even pronounce his last name. His dad's a fuck up, and he won't confront his dad. And that's kind of where they're always at. His dad does all these really wrong things. He walks in, he comes home from work, and his wife is bitching about his dad made this giant mess of peanut butter and jelly. There's fucking jelly everywhere, peanut butter, banana peels, and the dad walks out in a towel, up to his tits, and he's talking and says something to the wife, and his towel drops, and he's like, well, since you've seen it already, I guess I don't have to wear towels anymore, and he starts walking around naked, and the wife is just pissed, and the guy will not, refuses to say anything to his dad about it. And then Seth Green's dad, Seth Green is a stoner, essentially. He gives his dad shit constantly. Like, there's a part where, like, Seth Green's giving Giovanni shit about how he won't confront his dad. And he's like, I yell at my dad all the time. He's like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to text my dad no right now for no reason. And he just texts his dad no. And then he gets a call later on in the episode that his dad's like, did you just text me no for no reason? It's pretty funny. I guess that's one of the things you have to see.
Yeah, comedies are hard to explain.
That's basically what ends up happening is the one dad lives with Giovanni, and Seth Green's dad doesn't. But Seth Green's dad ends up staying with him, and there's a lot of antics, I guess. But there's an episode where they drug their dad, so they're always in better moods. Then they have getting high off, so they all eat all these brownies to see who can not pretty much pass out. Giovanni gets stuck in our refrigerator and is all freaking out because he ate like 4 brownies.
It sounds like almost a very variant of King of Queens.
But better. If you took King of Queens and put like a Seth MacFarlane spin on it, then yes, they're pretty close. But it's 2 families instead of 1. Seth MacFarlane's an executive producer.
Okay, so it's like he's involved in it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Seth Green doesn't do anything without him, it seems like.
Besides Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken isn't that funny anymore.
One of the other shows I watched, and I can sum this one up really short, my wife really liked it, and I thought it was okay, it was entertaining. It's Back in the Game. Maggie Lawson's in it, and she's the main girl from Psych. She's Sean's girlfriend, the blonde.
Psych is such a boring show.
Anyway, this is called Back in the Game, stars Maggie Lawson as a single mother living with her dad, and he basically wanted a son, and she had to do baseball and like ruined her life basically.
She's a slugger, huh?
Yeah, and now she has a son, and he's kind of a loser, and so she's gonna coach the local baseball team with all the misfits. Back in the Game is Bad News Bears on TV.
With a girl.
With a girl as the coach. Yep, that's exactly what it is, and there won't be any cursing or beer drinking or funniness that is the old Bad News. Instead of watching Back in the Game, go watch Bad News Bears. The old one, not the remake. The remake's okay.
I never saw the remake.
It's okay. Billy Bob Thornton does okay in it.
The only funny movie he's ever done to me was Bad Santa. Bad Santa was so fucking funny.
Badder Santa
was even better.
They're almost like 2 different movies. It's kind of crazy how different they are.
That's like, have you ever seen Sex Drive?
No.
Oh my god, you have to watch Sex Drive if you've never seen it. And you have to watch the rated version before you watch the unrated version, because that's the thing, is they're like 2 different movies, because like they'll just randomly throw a dick shot in there. There's this like dude standing there juggling naked. It's really weird, but it's a fucking hysterical movie. It has Cyclops, something Marsden. James Marsden? The guy that plays Cyclops. I don't know his name. It's like right there.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Yeah, him.
Him.
Did you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I've watched both episodes.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's Andy Samberg.
I think it's really funny, and I like the supporting cast more than I like him, and that's what it is. It seems like it's too much Andy Samberg, and not enough of the supporting cast, which are really funny as well. Like the crazy civilian chick.
Oh, yeah.
She's funny. And it seems like instead of an office, it seems like, in the office it's a paper company, it's a police department.
I never could get into The Office, so I can't really agree with that. You're fucking gross. But it's funny, and there's some parts that Andy Samberg, yes, is funny, but I wish, not necessarily it wasn't as much him, but he was at 100%, he was at 80%. You could still see him as much in the show, but he's just not as potent, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it revolves way too much around him. And I like the guy that plays the cop, the captain, the black captain guy. His captain is good too. He does well.
What else was he in? He always plays an asshole role, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty famous actor. I mean, you could probably look it up. But it's funny. I like how they play, and there's always almost like a moral to the story and stuff. Like, he tells him to wear a tie, and he won't wear the tie, It's like, where wear the tie, why wear the tie?
He's like, yeah, it's a fucking uniform.
And he's like, I get it now, sir. And my favorite part is actually the flashbacks of when he's like, well, Captain so-and-so let me do this, and they were doing, the chair races with the fire extinguishers, and the captain comes out here, and the guy's like a complete slob. He's like a donut in his hand, a bottle of whiskey, a big yellow stain on his shirt. His shirt's untucked, his hat's all messed up. And he's like, what are you guys doing out here? He's like, oh, nothing, Captain. Just go back in there. I'll give you your money later. He's like, okay. And he like leaves. And those are some of the funniest parts when you have the flashbacks, I think.
Those were good.
When he's in his underwear, that's funny because he's trying to be a smart ass.
And then he calls in all
the whole people
department.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are funny parts in it that I think are funny. It's essentially a good show.
It won't make it.
You really don't think it will?
Nah. I watch so much TV, I know when a show will make it or not. As much money as they're pouring into like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and, Back in the Game, I know that these shows won't make it more than one season, if they even make it one season.
So you're telling me that the Mindy Project will do better than Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yeah.
That's an awful fucking show, by the way.
But you have to remember that a lot of these shows are targeted towards specific demographics, and if they do well in that demographic, then they are successful. Where some of the ones like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it needs to do well in our demographic. It's targeting 15 to 30-year-old men and boys, and if those are the people not watching it, then they're not going to do well.
But I feel like Brooklyn Nine-Nine will, because it has more of a comedy aspect than what it does a serious aspect.
Maybe. I don't see it going more than a few seasons, though.
But if it does 2 seasons, then it has succeeded.
You think?
I think so. I think that's usually like the turning point. Is that five? It has to be 5 seasons.
I think 5 seasons for a series is successful.
Sleepy Hollow is set up for 7.
7,
mind you.
And then they've said that twice now.
Yeah. It's going to be 7 years of turmoil or some shit like that they'll have to deal with.
But if you look at most TV show like producers and writers and things, they always make their first overall block 5 years. Like Supernatural was written by Eric Kripke for 5 years, and that was where it was supposed to end, and then it did so well they wanted to continue it on. And you look at a lot of shows, they're done in almost 5-year or 4 to 8 year chunks. Like Smallville was done in 10 years, and like the end of 5 years they were considering whether canceling or not. That was also the debacle where the WB was turning into the CW. But like, Heroes, they tried to make it 5 years and they couldn't, and I would almost see it as a failure that they didn't make it 5 years.
But it just progressively got shittier and shittier.
Of course.
Every season went on. But that more goes into the I wouldn't say the political side, but that goes into the higher ups make something bad.
That's true.
Make a bad decision.
And you could argue that things can be successful after one season. Firefly. I know you don't like that show, but
let me clarify. It's not that I don't like it. It's overplayed. That thing. I've seen it before, so I just don't care enough about it. It's more popular now that it is canceled. Do you really think if Firefly started again, it would go 10 years? No. I realistically think it would go 3. You get 3 more seasons out of it, and they would call it quits.
Yeah. But I mean, and I guess maybe I'm wrong. I should probably restate that at 5 years. I guess they always want 5 years because that's 100 episodes usually, around 100 episodes, and they consider that a pinnacle point in a series, because Star Trek, the original series, only had 4 seasons, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was either 3 or 4, but that's
the second biggest sci-fi franchise there is.
That's true.
Next to Star Wars, because it's bigger than Star Trek. Yeah, I said that. That's out there.
I think Star Trek is liked more before Disney.
You would rather be a person than a Jedi Knight or a Sith Lord? Come on.
If I had to listen to the bitchy assholes that every Jedi has to listen to, yes, I'd rather be like Captain Kirk and fuck everything that I could and not get yelled at by a green midget. You know what I mean?
You don't have to be a Jedi. You can be a Sith Lord. Dark side.
So I have to listen to this throaty old man bark orders at me?
Something. Dark side.
I see the point, but I don't know.
Do you want to save the rest for next time?
I don't care. I don't know we're at a half hour.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for our... I know these are very negative, and they seem to be like our rants of like we're picking away TV shows, but hey, listeners, we're doing you a service here by watching these shitty-ass shows and telling you all the bad things. You're like, wow, I really don't want to watch this show. And then if you do watch it and you like it, we haven't played it up too much.
Well, not just that, is they can see our sides to it and then nitpick from there. Because that's almost what I do and stuff. Like, I'm the type of guy you can't really spoil anything for. Like, I want to see the build up to the end and why it happens. You could almost chalk it up to that. We're seeing the shitty part, so you guys can see the positive.
Yeah.
Or you could agree with us and see the shitty in it too.
Yeah. Well, that wraps it up for this time. So thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next bonus round.
See you. Peace.